Welcome back to Roll for Lore, where adventurers die as often by their own hand as by the DM's. Today, we're talking traps. Not the ones the dungeon throws at you, but the ones you set. That's right. Here are 10 very real, very tragic, and very hilarious ways D&D players have been killed by their own traps. Sometimes the deadliest monster is your own creativity. And often, the most dangerous thing in the dungeon isn't the beholder. It's your overconfidence. Number 1. The reverse pitfall. A rogue wanted to dig a 10-foot pit, place a bed of spikes, then cover it with leaves to lure enemies in. It worked at first. The enemy dodged it. But then, mid-combat, the rogue started backpedaling while trash-talking their opponent. In the heat of battle, they forgot their own trap. Down they went. Spike meets spine. The cleric couldn't even keep a straight face during the revivify. To this day, the party calls any embarrassing backstep pulling a pitfall. Number 2. The exploding door handle. One overachieving artificer enchanted a doorknob to explode if touched by anyone without the correct magical passphrase. Elegant, deadly, and unfortunately, easy to forget. During a dramatic monologue about storming the enemy lair, the artificer burst through the door to make an entrance and instantly detonated. The rest of the party survived the explosion, barely. The door did not, nor did the artificer's dignity. 3. The tripwire of terror. A ranger made a tripwire across a corridor connected to a net full of heavy boulders. It was a thing of beauty. Worked perfectly on some goblins who walked right into it. But the ranger forgot to rearm it correctly. Later, while fleeing from a bugbear ambush, they sprinted down the same corridor. They triggered it. The rocks fell. The goblins got the last laugh. 4. The delayed fireball. A wizard decided to use glyph of warding to set a delayed fireball trap. The trigger was simple. When someone steps here. They even drew a small magical X on the ground. Then the group regrouped on that very spot to plan their next move. The wizard stepped onto the glyph. The fireball triggered. Bang! The party learned the true meaning of friendly fire. TPK, courtesy of the very person trying to be clever. 5. Bear trap, meet barbarian. Our favorite wild-eyed barbarian had the bright idea to place bear traps around the camp perimeter to deter nighttime intruders. At midnight, nature called. Groggy and barefoot, the barbarian forgot the trap placement. When the jaws snapped shut, he screamed so loud it attracted every gnoll within 5 miles. While bleeding out, they shouted, "Why did I use poison teeth?" Lefty is still the party's code word for friendly fire. 6. Mimic decoy chest. A rogue built a fake mimic chest to scare off looters. Slathered it in adhesive goo, gave it teeth, even made it hiss when approached. Unfortunately, they didn't tell the party. The bard saw the chest, assumed it was legit loot, and shouted, "I call dibs!" They attacked it. The rogue ran to intervene. The fighter, hearing mimic, tackled the rogue mid-explanation and crushed their ribcage. The cleric said, "Well, at least it was convincing." 7. Swinging log trap. Inspired by Return of the Jedi, the druid strung 2 huge logs on vines above a narrow bridge. Perfectly aimed. Triggered by a vine pull. During a high-stakes chase, the druid gave the signal too early. The paladin was halfway across. Wham! Splinters, broken armor, and a puff of holy smoke. One less divine smiter. The enemy turned around. The rest of the party didn't. 8. Oil slick slip-up. The plan? Classic. Pour oil on the floor, lure enemies across, light it up. Execution? Less classic. The wizard missed the firebolt. The fighter, charging to follow up, slipped, failed the dex save, crashed into the rogue, who dropped a torch. Suddenly, everyone was on fire. chaos, screaming. Even the enemies stood back in awe. When the smoke cleared, the DM sighed and asked, "Are you sure you want to roll new characters?" 9. Ceiling Spike Drop. A gnome with an engineering streak built a ceiling-mounted spike drop, triggered by a pressure plate, elegant and efficient. What wasn't efficient was forgetting to mark the plate. After scouting ahead, the gnome proudly returned, stepped on the plate. Boom. Final words? It works! They posthumously received an award from the Tinkerers Guild for thorough testing. 10. The rope that strangled. To defend a secret base, a rogue built a snare trap that would yank intruders into the air. It worked during tests, sort of. But then the rogue forgot to disable it during a party gathering. The trap triggered. The rope tightened. They swung into a wall, then into a lit torch, then failed the reflex save. The rogue's last words? Wait, no, I didn't mean… The DM paused, smiled, and said, "Beautiful." And that, brave builders of doom, is why you always mark your traps, communicate with your party, and never trust your own cleverness too much. Got your own tale of trap-induced tragedy? Drop it in the comments and share your pain. Or laughter. Or both. Until next time, stay cunning, but maybe keep the safety off. And remember, in D&D, overthinking can be lethal. Literally. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore, be sure to smash that like button like a barbarian on a rampage. And if you want to keep uncovering the mysteries of the realms, don't forget to roll for subscription and hit the bell so you never miss a quest. Until next time, may your rolls be high and your loot be legendary.